Alright, so John 14 where it says I am the way, the truth.
No, I mean to kind of get back here. So that was the thing. So the whole conversation was about how God, I believe, chooses to directly have influence in His creation, and I've kind of like stated why.
Okay, but now I need to come back on that and explain why I don't believe. To a certain extent, I believe like that passage when he says I am the way, the truth, and the life. Yeah, I believe it in terms like, and when he says no one can get to the Father but through me, it's quite simple. Like
where Simon specifically says, Philip says, show us the Father.
Yeah,
and what does Jesus answer?
Yeah, he says, have you not seen me?
But it's very important to not paraphrase, and it's very important to read, because if someone said this to me, and I am Philip, and someone said to me, I've had my answers, I don't need to even question it anymore. Jesus answered. Philip said, Lord, show us the Father, and that will be enough for us. Jesus answered, don't you know me, Philip, even after I have been, because he says the Father, and Jesus is asking, don't you know me?
Right. Well, you need to also get.
You can't
read this in context of that.
Finish the verse. Finish the verse.
Sorry. Don't you know me, Philip? Even after I have been among you such a long time, anyone who has seen me has seen the Father. How can you say, show us the Father?
So what does that mean? Anyone who has seen me has seen the Father. What do you think it means?
Huh?
What do you think it means?
I feel like what I'm saying, because the whole conversation was that I believe our Creator can influence His, can directly get involved in His creation.
No, that's the words that you read when Jesus is saying, I've been with you for so long, yes, and they are asking to show us the Father, and He's saying, don't you know me, I've been with you so long, if you've seen me, you've seen the Father. From this passage, what do you take? What do you understand?
What do I take from this passage and the Bible as a whole?
No problem. Put it in context of the Bible, no problem. What do you think it means?
I believe God in the spirit, in His infinite spirit being, chose to come into His creation. I can't tell you the physics behind it. I can't tell you the mechanics behind it. I can't tell you how it happened, but it happened. That he directly had influence in His creation.
Okay, let me ask you more directly. Do you believe that Jesus and the Father look alike?
Look alike?
Yes.
I believe, like now, in how do you characterize?
When Jesus says, if you have seen me, you have seen the Father. Because many people take this literally.
That's what I'm saying. Are you talking about characteristics?
I mean in looks.
Are you talking about looks?
Physical looks.
Okay, because I don't know what a spirit being looks like, so I can't answer.
Okay, so who is the spirit being here? Huh? Who is the spirit being in this conversation?
The Holy Spirit, Jesus.
No, the Father.
The Spirit.
The Father.
Huh?
The Father is the one who is spirit, right? Jesus is a physical man.
Correct.
Okay? So imagine a physical man comes to you and says to you, if you have seen the Father, you have seen me. The Father is spiritual.
Seen the Father?
Because the Father is not physical, is He? It's not flesh and bones like Jesus is. Jesus is flesh and bones, speaking to other flesh and bones. So both of them are humans. Yes, the one who is questioning is human. The one who responds is a human. However, when He compares Himself to the Father, He's saying, if you've seen me, you've seen the Father. This is what I'm asking you. What do you as a Christian understand from it?
Just so we can get good audio,
put it in the zipper. There you go.
Just still. Sorry about that.
You're alright, bro.
Welcome to Speaker's Corner.
It's good to get a good audio. A good audio is better than good video anytime.
So what I take from that, like as I'll repeat myself, is basically me. I have faith to believe that our Creator came within creation to show us. Ultimately, that's what the Bible explains is one, that death does not hold us, i.e. do not fear of death, because He actually represented the idea of I have the keys to death, i.e. there is life after death if you choose it to be, in that sense. So He kind of like represented that.
But He did die.
Huh?
He did die.
No, He didn't die.
So who died on the cross then?
I've heard this. We had this conversation.
No, but it's important. If you're saying He didn't die,
Flesh perished.
Okay, when you say the flesh perished, yes, you see, you're talking about the human nature here. Am I right?
Yeah.
So you're saying the divine nature did not die, the human nature died.
Yes.
This is the same mistake many Christians make, because they do not realize that we are still talking about the same person.
Well, so you yourself, you as an individual,
Yes.
yeah, you have the flesh, you have the spirit,
Yes.
and you have the thing.
How many
What's
persons am I?
No, you're one, but where is this going and where are you going in your own belief?
Sure. So just like Jesus,
Is your bones dead?
hold on. Just like Jesus,
sir.
just like Jesus, when he died, his flesh and his, let's say, his physical body perished, or whatever you want to, however you want to see it.
But the Bible
And the
explains
divine,
what-
wait,
it
the
explains what
spiritual
happened.
body did not perish. You know, when you die,
Yes, sir.
the same thing is going to happen to you,
What?
right? Your physical body is going to perish, but your spiritual being,
It depends.
it will not.
It's God's will. What happens?
No,
with
but
my
look,
spirit.
either will be eternal damnation or eternal bliss, but it won't perish as such. Otherwise, there won't be point of a punishment, you know? Yes? So this is what I'm saying. Your nature, whether it's divine or whether it's human, is attached to a person. It's not something that floats in the air by itself. It is always linked to a person.
Yeah, sure.
Okay?
But I'm-
So when you believe as a Christian, you believe in three persons in one being. This person who died on the cross is who? From the three.
It's flesh.
Which person?
No person died.
But again, look, again you're doing the same thing. You're separating the nature from the person.
No, because I told you it's one.
What is one?
All things. So, i.e., God is one. You are one. But you are represented in three things: mind, flesh, spirit. Okay.
How is-
But your mind, your
But how many persons? Look.
is your body
Bro.
not gonna perish? And
I'm coming there.
there.
Look,
No, go on.
look. How many persons am I? Even if you divide me into mind, body, and flesh, how many persons am I?
One.
Exactly.
Yeah.
How many persons was
But if-
Jesus?
if your flesh dies,
wait. How many persons was Jesus? How many persons were within Jesus? Only one person.
What do you mean by one person? Jesus was a person.
Yeah, Jesus was a person. So he's one of the persons of the Trinity. Am I right?
Jesus is one of the persons of the Trinity.
Yes.
Yes.
Do you agree with that?
Yes.
Okay, so in the Trinity, how many persons are there?
Huh?
In the Trinity, how many persons are there?
Three.
Three. From these three, which person died?
Huh?
Which person died?
Jesus, the flesh. The flesh of Jesus.
Yeah, but you're falling for Nestorianism, the heresy where you separate the divine
Yeah.
from the flesh.
Why?
Do you know this is a heresy? It's a Christian. Yes.
Dude, it's not a heresy,
Listen, if
dude.
you don't believe me,
No.
go home and look up Nestorianism.
The flesh, the being, and the flesh are different. So him and his being as Jesus, they're not the same. Flesh is different, bro.
What do you mean the being and flesh are different?
So Jesus in his being, as in Jesus, as in God, the spirit in earth,
Yeah.
and his flesh is completely two different
Okay, so
things.
you're telling me the natures are separate from the person.
Yeah, the nature is separated from the flesh.
Can the nature be separate from the person?
The flesh.
No. Listen. Whether it's a flesh or whether it's
We're
divine.
talking, listen, another one.
You've been upgraded.
So no, that's
Can you look? It's a very simple question. You might have a nature which is kind. You might have a nature which is generous. Okay, all those natures are within you, one person.
But is that represented by my flesh?
Whether you want to call it a flesh or your spirit.
but you-
Wait. Listen. Whether it's your spirit or your flesh or your mind, you're still one person, bro. I didn't say they are not different. I said these natures are linked to you, one person.
If my flesh dies, does that mean if my flesh, out of those things, my flesh disappears?
Yes.
Does that mean that person has disappeared?
Well, when you
I'll reverse the question.
No, you're not reversing the question. In fact, you're agreeing with me. Look, when a person dies,
Yeah.
what do they say? Do they say your kind nature died? Or do they say the person died? What do they say?
I'm sorry.
Okay. Like I said, you have different
So
natures.
if someone passed away, I'll be like, the person passed away.
Yeah, exactly. The person passed away. They don't say his nature's passed away, do they?
No, I would.
You know why?
But this is fallacy of the world we live in. So if he was to give a correct answer, like he would be like, oh no, he's not dead because his spirit's living on. His flesh is in the ground.
No. People don't go to those
Okay,
extremes.
but we need to.
They just say, look, they just say,
we need to.
yeah, they just
Otherwise,
say
if we stay in the lower level,
Actually, I'm not.
Wrong.
I'm not. I'm the one telling you not to separate the two. You want to separate the two, which is a heresy.
It's not heresy, dude.
Do you know the heresy of Nestorianism?
Huh? Well, you're trying to. No, but I'm not.
Do you know about it?
I'm arguing. I'm not talking about the being, as in the human being.
My friend, do you know the heresy of Nestorianism?
I'm guessing.
Okay.
I'm guessing it's the point where basically, if you don't accept that Jesus was also man,
No. Nestorianism, where they basically say or they identify themselves as Jesus, his human nature and the divine nature are basically in two different persons. So he might be acting as a person in his divinity or in his humanity, two different persons, two different consciousness, two different wills in the same person.
Two different consciousnesses.
Yes.
Different worlds.
There you go. Look at it. Just read it for him.
So it says, Nestorianism is the Christological doctrine that emphasizes a distinction between the human and divine natures of the divine person, Jesus. It was advanced by Nestorius, Patriarch of Constantinople, from 428 to 431, influenced by Nestorius' studies under Theodore of